there. Perfect. Come on in. Have a good one.
You can connect right across here. Hello, welcome.
Coming now. It's summertime, huh? It's just how it's going to be sometimes, right?
Which one is that?
it must have been your presence here that made the gorillas move around the way they did.
They were afraid I'd take the tail for breakfast.
Oh, well,
Whatever that is.
it is. You are correct, and you saw our youngest gorilla picking up all of the, she steals it already, she has it. She wants to make sure. Fantastic.
Does it water?
The good weather.
Yeah.
Yes, not too hot.
Thank you.
That's what I told him, and I was like, don't you know? He was like, most of
There's my cat and there's this guy. They have it all up as well.
Look, he's eating.
Is there another one?
Out in the wild.
See you later. See you, Benjamin?
We have to be strategic with it.
There's a lion.
It catches a
You'd like to do that animal,
Where? Oh, the lion? Yeah, we can look through there.
Looks like sometimes.
I know I'm gonna have to. It's fine.
Alright, and off we go. Welcome everybody to the African Tram. My name is Victor, and I will be your tour guide for the next 25 or so minutes. Now real quick, do me a favor guys. Go ahead and wiggle the doors on your side to make sure they are closed completely. Perfect. Now I will ask that you guys not put too much body weight on those doors because they are latched on. They are not locked on. I wouldn't want those swinging open and you falling off, having a medical emergency on this tour. However, if there are any medical emergencies, what you're going to do is you look above your head there on the ceiling, specifically on the sides. There are some yellow stripes. You click those and I get a message from here letting me know there's an emergency. And I can make some calls and get some help on the way. For those of you directly behind me though, there are no yellow stripes for you. That is because we will be feeding you to the lions later. Now what you guys are going to do if there is an emergency is you're just going to knock on my window right back here. Break it even if you have to, just to get my attention. And likewise, I will make some calls to get some help out here for you. Otherwise though, any drop glasses, hats, keys, wallets are not emergencies. So if you drop that, remember what you did? We'll send somebody out to get it. But we do have some of our giraffe out there in the East African habitat on the driver's side. But we're going to say goodbye to them for now. I promise we'll be back a little later to check them out. Well, we got some other stuff to see further up ahead. And actually, if you guys look over to the passenger side, just past the palm tree, we've got some birds. Now this spot right here directly next to us is the Delta habitat, but we're going to focus our attention specifically on their next door neighbors here, because the greater flamingo are out and about currently. And you'll notice these guys are not as pink as other flamingo species. That is because they live out in salt flats, and they need to be able to camouflage well with their surroundings, so the lighter colored feathers really help out that, but on top of it, their environment is usually very hot. Let's continue on forward. I just want to say thanks to everybody for coming down to the safari park today. Just by stepping through one of our 2 front doors here in the organization, you are critical in helping us in our mission of creating a world where all life thrives. So thanks for being here. But also going through those double doors right there, show of hands back there. How many people think of Jurassic Park? Well, fun fact, in the early 90s, Steven Spielberg's production company actually came here to the safari park, and they took pictures of all of our different habitats, all the big spaces, and they used those pictures as inspiration for when they were building the live set of the very first Jurassic Park movie. And they didn't give us a single dime for it or credit. Can you believe that? Despicable. Joking, not that any of that stuff really matters. But what does matter is this place here on the passenger side. I know there's nothing really to see in there right now, but this place here is called the Rhino Rescue Center. And throughout the years, lots of different research has been done for the southern white rhinos there. So it's an important place here, as well as the driver's side. Got some more birds. We're going to focus on the vultures that are in there specifically, because there's a couple different bird species there, but we've got lapid-faced vultures, Cape vultures, and repelled vultures. And if you look on that tree sitting on top of that, those are turkey vultures that are native to this area. They're not ours, they just love coming down and hanging out. But all of them all together, vultures as a whole species, are extremely important because they can do something no other creatures can, and that is they can digest bacteria and diseases and even anthrax. I know that's a crazy one, right? But they can digest it all and completely eliminate it from the ecosystem. That helps keep us safe, keeps them safe, keeps other wildlife and creatures safe. I'm sure that they are important. Now, unfortunately, vulture numbers have dropped significantly throughout the years for various reasons, but out here in the Southwest, one of the biggest reasons why their numbers have dropped is because of littering. So if you guys want to help them out and in return help out the ecosystem, all you gotta do is make sure your trash makes it into a trash bin and recycled. It's that easy. I know you've probably heard it millions and millions and millions of times before, but it really is that simple. But we've got our amazing South African habitat here on the driver's side. Let's do a little loop on that, shall we? If you guys look over on the hillside there on the passenger side, got some of the Grevy zebras out and about. That is a breeding herd. They are part of the SSC, the Species Survival Plan, and as that name implies, it's to help out different wildlife species whose numbers are a little lower than what they could be. Especially with those Grevy zebras, as they are the most endangered of the zebra species. So we really want to help them out, get their numbers up, have more of them in the world. Just like how we want more of these pelicans in the world too. These ones here on the passenger side as well. We've got great white pelicans and Dalmatian pelicans in there. So a couple more vultures, but we'll focus on those pelicans. These guys are cool because they've learned to work together as a community for a common goal. And what they'll do is whenever they're out hunting, they will go into shallow waters, wait for fish to float around, and circle those fish. And when they're close enough, one of those pelicans will actually scoop that fish up with its wings and allow its friends to eat. And likewise, the friends will return the favor for them as well. That's just one of many examples of wildlife learning to work together as a community for that common goal, much like us humans have. But next door to them, a little further up ahead here, also on the right side, we've got the addax, these white antelope right here. They are one of the newest additions to this habitat space, newest residents of this area. And you'll notice that white colored coat that they have on them. Also good for heat, much like those flamingos I mentioned earlier. They adapted to the heat by having a lighter coat. They love the desert areas. So much, in fact, that they're actually one of the few species that can completely go their entire lifetime without actually drinking any water. They'll get all the moisture they need from any plants they might be eating, or also from each other when they are doing a little social grooming for bonding time. But in contrast to them, over on the driver's side, just up on the hillside there, you see some giraffes and you see some more antelope. Now the antelope there, the kind of sand-colored ones, those are Patterson's eland all the way up there. And they are the second biggest of the antelope species out in Africa. Second to only their cousins, the giant elands, of course. And the giraffe out there as well. Those are Maasai giraffes. They've been going all over this habitat all day, enjoying the different places. That's something we love to see here at the safari park, especially with our bigger areas, is all of our different wildlife exploring the entire thing. And getting to communicate with other different species, as that's part of the foundation of this whole park, is allowing different species to enjoy each other's companies and to interact as they would out in the wild. Got these huge pepper trees here on the driver's side. I'll come to a specific point. You guys think the giraffe did that? Yeah, they probably did, right? Also, sometimes our arborist team will go in, do a little trimming as well, but most of the time, giraffes are eating anything that's hanging lower than that, keeping the trees nice and even looking. As will other species with the grass specifically. That's one great thing out here too, is we don't need any lawnmowers cutting down the grass in these big spaces, because all of the different wildlife in here are all grazers, and they're going to do the job for us. But I do see the Cape Buffalo up ahead. Let's get a closer look. Now the Cape Buffalo here is some of my favorites because they have a strong family dynamic, so much so that they're one of the few species that will actually fully fight back against a whole pride of lions. And in doing so, they'll actually gather up all of their youngest members and their very oldest who aren't fit for fighting anymore, and they'll form a wall around them, a huge barrier. And all the capable adults will do it, facing outwards, ready to fight back against whatever trouble may come their way. And so notice with their horns too, they actually curve upwards. They've adapted to horns having that curvature, so whenever they're standing side by side ready to fight, they don't accidentally poke each other. Now real quick, over on the passenger side, just up the hill there, you guys see those great colored species right there? If you've ever wondered what one of the more rare species to see at the safari park is, this would be one of them. Those guys up there are Somali wild ass. That is their actual name. I'm not joking. It's only okay to say that word in the context of their name only, of course. But these guys, as I mentioned, one of the rare ones to see because there are only roughly 100 to 200 of them left out of the wild right now. Unfortunately, due to a lot of civil unrest in the areas they're naturally found in, their numbers have declined significantly, specifically out in Somalia. One thing to notice, whenever there's war, the human life isn't thriving. You can surely bet the wildlife isn't thriving either, as resources are low. That's something to keep in mind out here, specifically in the southwest of the United States, where I'm assuming most of us here live. But I'll touch up a little more on the southwest, on the opposite side of this loop, where we've got the hem spot here on the driver's side. These guys are another species of antelope, a subspecies as a whole, I should say, that are referred to as the oryx, and there are 4 different types of oryx. These guys specifically the hem spot. But so notice their faces, they've got those black stripes running up it. In fact, the stripes themselves run up to the top of their head where the base of their horns starts, and it makes their horns appear much larger than they actually are, and as it is, their horns are very big. But on top of that, as you can tell in their ears, they have those dark spots. When pointed outwards, they look like eyes staring back at you. It makes their face look much bigger than it actually is. And all of that combined with those stripes as well, it's called a threat mask. As that name implies, to threaten anything that might be giving them a little trouble coming their way, they don't want around. There's different species that also have those threat masks. Their cousins, the fringed oryx, also have them, although they're in a different habitat. But let's head upwards here, see if we can find any other species. Now on this hillside here, I can't make any stops as we are at an angle, but if we do see any animals, I'll take it a little slower there for you. So let's keep our eyes peeled. past this tree here, I do see a roan antelope hanging around, one of our males there. You can tell on his face, it's also got that threat mask. The stripes going upwards make its horns look a little bigger than they actually are. But just up ahead of us, past these sprinklers, also on the left, I do see two southern white rhino boys hanging out. Now these guys here are a little too young to be hanging out with the ladies right now. So they're just having a little bachelor pad here, hanging out together. Southern white rhinos are very, very social, much like us humans are. So they very much enjoy each other's company. But look at his ears. Both of their ears actually, as I'm talking, they move back and forth. They're like little satellites, and because their vision isn't the best, it's also not the worst. Common misconception with them is that they have terrible vision, but it's still not the best. They rely a lot on hearing, so they've adapted to that by having those satellite-like ears moving around towards where sound is coming from. Now up here, in this middle section of the bridge, I'll do a little pause, and you guys are all going to stand up that picture if you like, but this is on the left side what I call the best view in all of the safari parks. So overlooks our Central and South African habitat. Beautiful view of the valley as well. We'll pause for a split second here. The breeze is always nice up here as well. But over on the passenger side, this more foresty area. You know what that's called? You guessed it, the African forest. However, all of the species in this habitat there on the right usually like hanging out on the back side, which is totally fine. We don't force them to be out and about if they don't want to be, and that goes for all of our wildlife here at the Safari Park. We're not forcing them to do things or be places they don't want to be. But all the animals in there are more of an orange, kind of brownish color. Believe it or not, that actually helps them camouflage well with their surroundings. You might be wondering how that is if orange and green are very different from each other. Well, predators that would be going after them, specifically big cats like lions, are going to be red-green colorblind. And to them, an orange, brownish, reddish colored animal is going to look the same as green does from all these trees. It's all going to look more brownish, maybe grayish. And so, predators like lions have to rely a lot on their senses of smelling and hearing to be able to find the prey, because in places like those, it's basically like they are blind. However, to their credit, I'm blind too, and I got like 70-something of you guys on here, and not just joking. Past these trees here, let's see if we can find any of the wildebeest, see if they're out and about. There it is, there's one of them for sure. A couple of them, perfect. Now, keep a close eye, see if any of the babies are up here. On this side. It looks like mamas have been way more comfortable. Oh, you know what? I see them a little further along. Mamas have been a little more comfortable with allowing the kids out and about, more in the open. Those babies are now a few weeks old, and recently mamas had been tucking them away under these trees, nice and safe, hidden in the shade and around the rocks, which they camouflage well with. And that grabby zebra over there has been like an uncle to the kids, and the mamas have been totally fine with him hanging around as they feel protected with him, which is another great thing I see. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, this is a place where we love to see the different wildlife interacting, and that is the foundation of it. But we'll continue on forward, say goodbye to the wildebeest. Now, I mentioned the southwest earlier, this whole region, everything you see around these mountains, specifically here on the right side, is all part of that southwest chaparral and that coastal sage scrub region. And believe it or not, that habitat itself is the second most endangered here in the safari, or not the safari park, but in the entire United States. And let me pause on that real quick because of Ugandan cobber out and about. Now here, let me pause for a few seconds. If you take a picture of them in black and white, they're going to look very similar to the grass around them. And they're similar to the animals I mentioned earlier in that African forest area. They've got somewhat of an orange-brownish coat to them as well, and taking a picture of them in black and white would be somewhat similar to the vision that a predator like a lion would see. So we'll continue on forward. So as I was saying, the Southwest is the second most endangered habitat in all of the United States of America, second to only the Hawaiian rainforest. And it is said that this whole region is only at about 10% of what it once was. course, a lot of that due in part to land development, housing, and commercial development humans have done, although we cannot fully blame ourselves for that because that is just the way that us as humans have progressed forward. But here at the safari park, we are 1,800 acres of space, and although we are that big, we only use about half of that. The rest of that is what you see here in these mountains. It's all bioreserve, left alone because we want to be able to provide homes for all the species that are naturally found in these areas, like those turkey vultures we saw earlier, or also mule deer and rabbits and such. Bees and bats, we want them all to be able to have homes. And you might be wondering, why would you want bats to have their homes around here? Well, they eat mosquitoes. If you're like me, get bit by mosquitoes all the time, they're a good thing to have around. If you guys want to help out any of those species that I just mentioned, one of the easiest ways would be to just plant native plants in your gardens, in your communities, parks, and all that. Of course, it's all just a suggestion if you so choose to do so, but let's see. Do we see any other species up here? I don't see any immediately, so for this portion real quick, I'll let you guys have a little break from my voice, and we'll pick it back up when we are closer to some other species. Let's just enjoy the ride for a little bit. Alright, so up ahead, we've got the Patterson Sealand again. I mentioned those are the more tan-colored ones. Closer to them, the darker ones there, are the sable antelope with those really cool horns that turn backwards. But we've also got the Maasai giraffe up here, so let's focus on them for a sec. Now, one cool thing about giraffes, aside from their height, is the fact that the height itself pairs nicely with their great eyesight, and they do see amazingly off to distances. Because of their eyesight and their height, they're known as the watchtowers of the savannah. They can see danger coming from over a mile away. And because of that, different species of antelope will actually hang out near them because they fully know that giraffes can see far away, and if those giraffes suddenly start running one direction to the other, that means they probably saw something of danger coming from far away, and they want to run away from that. And so all the other antelope, like these Patterson Sealand and the sable antelope as well, will run alongside the giraffe because it's better to run first and then ask questions later. Okay, you can survive out there. If you guys can see a little baby giraffe right there, centered, kind of lying down there. He is only 2 months old. Doesn't quite have a name yet, I believe. I suggested to the keepers we named him Victor after me. They didn't really like that idea though. Oh well. Let's say goodbye to the little baby giraffe. See you later, dude. Continue on forward. Head back down to see if the other giraffe are out and about in the east end. Like that.
I'll be down there like right
Get close, we'll show you. Literally, you're that close.
Now this space here on the right side, this hillside specifically, I know it doesn't seem like much, but it's an area we call a Monty Point. And that is where our founder, Dr. Charles Schroeder, back in the 60s, would bring in people that he wanted to convince of this plan he had of creating big open spaces like the wildlife reserve for all the different species to coexist and interact as they would out into the wild, and to be able to research them here. And he would bring people from the board, people from the San Diego Zoo, the city of San Diego, investors, to entice them to go up there with him. He would actually bring a bucket of KFC and a 6-pack of beer. That is a true story. And after 10 years of that, he managed to convince those people of his plan. And in 1972, we officially opened our doors to the public. Here we are 53 years later, still doing work in conservation, still doing all these amazing projects, not just here, but all across the world with different organizations we've partnered with. And none of that, of course, would be possible without your guys' help here. Because we are a non-profit organization, and you guys, just by being here, just by stepping through those 2 front doors I mentioned earlier, the other being the San Diego Zoo, of course, you guys are critical in that mission we have of creating a world where all life thrives. So thanks again for being here. Now, I mentioned the San Diego Zoo. How many of you guys back there, show of hands, how many of you guys have been there? Lots of you. Oh yeah, tons of you. I love the view too. But here, be real with me, guys. Do you guys like us better? Or do you like them better? That's right. I saw you pointing down. Yep. Not that it's a competition or anything. I'm just joking. We are the same organization, same principles. We would not be here without the San Diego Zoo. And by supporting one, you are supporting the other. So we've got the flamingos out and about again. Now it's feeding. So flamingos closest to the fence line here, you can kind of see they're bobbing their heads back and forth. These are the males, and what they're doing there, they're parading themselves around to the ladies. The mating ritual they're doing, looking for partners, and they have been at it for a good while now. And the ladies are still like, nah, not right now, dude. Maybe later, but that's alright, guys. Try again later. Now over on the right side here, the passenger side, we do have the giraffe out and about. See what they're doing right there? They're hanging out by those palm trees. At some point or another, you'll start seeing them licking the bark off of them. Which, if you can notice, with one of those palm trees, it does have some chain link wrapped around it, so the giraffe won't get into it, because when they do strip the bark off completely, it does expose those trees to potential disease, and we don't want that to happen. We don't want these trees to go away. Luckily, our amazing horticulture team has been doing a great job at managing them and caring for them, and so they're still standing, as are these giraffes. Now, how tall do you guys think giraffes are on average? They're easily taller than like 12 feet, right? Yep. You're going to be around 16 feet or so on average. The male's a little bigger. They can easily get it to 18, 19 feet. Some of the southern white rhinos there got us. Probably heard something they didn't really like too much. That's alright. Now this southern white rhino here closest to us is just turning now. Going towards the left, she's kind of got that lobster claw looking foreign situation going. That's the Hamu. And she's somewhat of a mother to the rest of these rhinos and the rest of them that are scattered all around this whole habitat. She is very much a leader to them. And it's always nice to see as the Hamu herself is not a mother, but she definitely acts like one of the rest of the rhino crash. And crash is the correct term to use for a group of rhinos. But we'll say goodbye to them as well. You guys are of course welcome to hop back into line if you so choose to go on another tour. Otherwise though, have fun exploring the rest of the park, guys. Go check out the platypus. They are the only place outside of Australia that has any platypus. In fact, when we got them in 2019, we were the first place outside of Australia to have them in about 60 years. And that is something we are very, very proud of. We hope to be one of many zoos to have them in the future. Otherwise, though, as we round the corner up ahead, stay seated. Once we reach the station and are at a complete stop, you guys are welcome to stand up and allow yourselves out through the passenger side. That is the side you enter from. Otherwise, though, if you guys have any questions, feel free to come up and ask. I don't bite, I promise. But if you guys enjoyed this tour, my name is Victor. And if you didn't enjoy this tour, my name is Adam. Well, have a great day.
Let's get back the other way.
How's it going? Good. Just walking. No, still going. Yeah. Yeah, good job. Yeah, so good, huh?
Right.
No, really.
Well, maybe we can get back to it someday.
Okay, I've got a bunch to cover. I have a bunch to cover still. So. Yeah. So proud of you. Yeah.
Because of less people. What's your favorite animal?
That's like going. weird noise.
He's got a kidney under his chin.
No supervisor?
Thank you for your information. You're welcome. My pleasure. I'm just waiting for it.
Yeah, okay.
I am waiting.
Oh, where it's just like dada only?
Yeah, not right now.
That should say much walking.
Are they mama or daddy's girls? Or both?
Felix.
Good, thank you. Yeah, good. How are you? Nice. Yep. To do what? Oh, yeah. Not right now. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna run to the rest.
Yeah, definitely.
No, it's fine.
Great. Good plan.
Yeah. He doesn't like birds. Huh?
Good. Touchy, you want your hat? Burn off those hot dogs.
I'm worried about it.
It was spinning up here.
Crazy, are you kidding?
In a million years do that.
You never know.
Like you, yeah. Yeah, they're sleepy.
That way.
This is all I've seen from the last couple of years.
Out the
بابا میشه با سوار اون بالون هم بشیم؟ خیلی ویدیو خوبی قرار باشه.
سامی بیا با ما باشی با من نگاه بکنیم.
پدرام پسرا
ما تو سندی بود سفر بلکه همه همون خوشین زده. نگاه ترکی های فیمیل یعنی ترکی های لاغر رو نگردن.
I was in awe and I walked out with one thing.
I understand.
They were born here. Yeah. Because they don't teach them. They don't follow.
بیا بریم کانگوروها با من قرار دارن یه جلسه خیلی مهم دارن کاکتوس‌ها اینا نه اصلا قراری جلسه دارم با کانگورو قراره
خب فعلا تا اینجا کاکتوس یه ذره
There's a dinosaur with a thing on it.
Hutchie, we're going off the trail. Then stay on the trail. Or feeding into your room. Okay? And no touching, right? Yeah. And I'll show you. Rude.
Hi, you guys
Hi.
can start the path to the right.
Thank you.
No.
And then walkabout are going to be across in the grassy area right over here, and then kangaroos are at the other.
Thank you.
Right here, you see him right down here? You can't go in there and change in the path. What do? You probably get a better look up here. Jacob, come squeeze in. There's one right here, Bob. Baby. Oh, there's one right in front of us, too. I mean, ready, Mom? Yeah,
We're gonna go see.
we'll probably go through.
Yeah, this is a flower.
Yeah, when you cut your hair, it's gonna be a little bit white.
$5. Yep. Plus tax.